foundation of human understanding teaches an observation exercise, often called meditation, which permits you to become objective toward your problems and allows your heartaches, bad habits, fears, and anxieties to be completely eliminated from your life without effort on your part. Until you have begun to practice this exercise, much of what you see and hear on the following program may be shocking and upsetting to you. But if you will listen calmly and with an open mind, you may discover the key to the peace of mind and joy for which you've been searching all of your life. And now, from the foundation of human understanding, here is Roy Masters.
Okay, welcome once again to the program. Roy Masters is talking about you, and this evening and every evening this week, possibly going for 2 weeks, we're going to discuss meditation. And it's a very mystical subject, shrouded in, controversy. There are many different kinds of meditation. There's the Rajneesh kind of meditation, and there's the Hare Krishna meditations, and there's Buddhist meditations, and there's Hindu meditations, and there's yoga meditations, and then there's Roy Masters meditation. Now, a long time ago, I imagine that all these meditations have a common origin. And a long time ago, the meditation was more innocent and pure. But, the sects and the religions and mingled with philosophies and ideas and concepts have somehow perverted the ideas of meditation. So many ideas, many concepts of meditation have emerged, many methods. There is only one correct method, and no other method is correct. Now, I claim I found that method. I was never satisfied when I was a young fellow. I was never satisfied with what was shown to me. I was always searching, but I had a keen sense of knowing what wasn't right. I can tell you, if a plumber comes in with his bag of tricks and picks up his tools, I know he isn't a plumber. The minute he starts to work, I know whether he's good or not. I can tell by just the way he talks, yet I don't know anything about plumbing. I know what isn't it. And if you've been going from church to church, from synagogue to synagogue, from cult to cult, looking for something, and you've never been satisfied with it. And because the reason was, there's something in you compatible only with the truth when you find it. It knows it when it sees it. It takes one to know one, you know what I mean? And so therefore, there's something in you that knows. I have to tell you the little story. Did I ever tell you the story about the guy that was on the parade ground, walking around picking up pieces of paper? It was in my unit, my army unit, and he was picking up, it happens to be me, picking up pieces of paper saying, that's not it, that's not it, that's not it, no, that's not it, and throwing it down, and this goes on for weeks. Finally, they send him to the psychiatrist, and they figure he's not very well, so he signs this little piece of paper. He said, that's it. See, he's discharged. He knew what it wasn't it. See? And there's something in us that knows what isn't it. See, but actually we really know what it is, but we can't define it. See? It's a spirit. It is a spirit that the spirit of searching and yearning is only compatible with the truth of the way and the way of that learning, and only feels comfortable with that. And you'll see, if you start to meditate, and a lot of you already are meditating, that's absolutely correct. And as you start to meditate and discover, come closer to yourself and realize more about what truth is, to know what it isn't, so you can reject it more fiercely. See? You'll begin to understand me better. And I know nobody really can argue with anything I say, because nobody really can. Well, I'm skilled, I'm disciplined in my logic, my spiritual logic. So you may not agree with me. It's only because you're not yet on the path, or you're not far along, so you can't see the point what I'm saying, but you can't argue against it. Never had anybody argue against it, what I'm saying successfully in all the years I've been on radio. or television. I haven't been very long on television. Now, I remember when I was very young, meditating. As a matter of fact, children, when they're very young, meditate. And they don't even know they meditate. I remember when I was in the army, after, 20-mile march, and the blood came through the lace holes of my boots, because my feet were so raw. But I remember lying down on my bunk and closing my eyes and then feeling my hands tingling. You ever felt that? After a hard day's work, it's like a reward. If you haven't worked honestly and haven't done a hard day's work in a right way, you can't meditate, you can't relax. Because the other guys, they couldn't relax. Well, they did smoke beer. Smoked beer. The devil made me say that. Well, they smoked cigarettes and drank beer. And ate candy bars and played cards and tried to watch TV or whatever it was. Listen to radio and told dirty jokes to each other just to try to, relax. And because meditation is a form of relaxation, and it's for the deserving. People that don't live right can't have any rest and don't deserve any rest. They try to create their own rest, their own peace. Two kinds of meditation. Basically two types. One, coming towards truth and reality, coming towards your conscience, or peace with the truth. Like surrender, peace with it, being at peace with oneself. And then there's the other kind of meditation, which is peace apart from yourself. See, the ego has no peace, no rest. It is in conflict with the self, in becoming prideful and ambitious, and sort of sinking into the world and taking on the identity of life, of the sustaining affections of life. Living out of this hypnotic trance, moving blindly towards whatever it is their heart's desire. They have become different, and this difference is conflict. And conflict is the difference between what we were or could be and what we become. It's vain striving. Follow? So this part can never have peace with God because it's not ready to come to God. Therefore, it has peace apart from God. Therefore, it gets deeper into hypnotic trance. So therefore, many meditations are simply hypnotic trances, a deeper and deeper hypnotic trance. So you see people, imagining and repeating mantras, Mazel tov, Mazel tov, Mazel, whatever it is they say to themselves over and again, in every way, and every day I'm getting better and better. It's a lie. And they keep repeating things to themselves, get lost in some nonsensical word, because if you had a word that made any sense, eventually to come back to the meaning, your mind, it's hard for your mind to sit still, because your mind lives in association. One thing leads to another, and leads to another, and pretty soon it comes back to what you don't want to think about. So a nonsensical noise, a word that has no meaning at all, is given some kind of meaning later on. But it's simply hypnotic. You focus your mind on that, and you keep repeating it to yourself, and the pain goes away. That's because you're moving away from the pain. You dig? See, does that give you some idea? That's a hypnotic. Most meditations, all of them, as a matter of fact, all of them, without any exception, even Buddhist meditations, are hypnotic. And meditation shouldn't require any structure. You shouldn't have to go to the Dalai Lama and sit in front of his feet and spend 7 years with rituals and learning the discipline. You shouldn't need any of that. You don't need any structure. You don't need to be in a monastery. The minute you have structure, you have external authority. The minute you have external authority, you have a submission to external authority, and you're submerging yourself in the hypnosis of life again. See? And you're becoming subject to a wrong spirit. The whole idea of meditation is to be subject to a true and pure spirit, and purifying spirit. And that's what you're searching for, isn't it? To be infilled with what the Creator has purposed for you. And a lot of people get stuck in those different outposts of reality, and on the farther horizons of reality. They can't get back. It's possible that you could get caught up with Roy Masters. It's possible that you get caught up in my personality. And try as I will, as hard as I might, that some of you are so externalized, so used to attaching yourself to some hypnotic personage and losing yourself in their personality, in their charm, in their approval, in their methods, which they invent. See? That there's no chance once you get caught in these people whose intention is not to free you, but to lead you to some kind of false concept. It's so easy, these other methods of the Rajneesh and what's this little smiling fellow that was the guru of the Beatles? Maharishi. I couldn't remember his name. But it's so easy for a person to get caught up in these different systems, as I said, that it's very hard to come back. And it's possible that you get caught up with me, but I wish it not. See? And if you're sincere, you may find yourself caught up with me and the meditation. But the meditation has something in it for your best interest, because I understand that I'm a kind of a Moses. See, with Moses was a type of Jesus. There's got to be some teacher, some kind of person who has found the way and who survived the system, like Moses survived the system and Jesus survived the system, didn't he? And the survivors get through. And of course, these survivors are very threaten the powers that be, you see. Always, because the powers that be, they don't want you to find yourself and be true to yourself. But we are like a Moses, so for a while you have to follow somebody. But the point is, you will recognize the qualities of those you can follow. And if you're true, just like the person on the parade ground, this is not it, you'll know that I'm it. Instinctively you'll recognize where I'm coming from, and you'll know that the instructions are right. And it's as though I've been reading your mail. So as I speak to you, all I'm doing is reminding you of what you've already known. Now for a little while, it's quite possible that you will be intellectually learning me. And that's not too bad, although if you get stuck into learning me, simply learning verse and chapter, studying my books and getting lost in it, you'll be able to remember everything, and that is not what I really want for you to learn. I want you to understand, which is a higher stage, a higher level than just learning it. But it's okay to learn it, because eventually you can say, now I understand what I know. But then some people get stuck at that stage of learning and never get beyond it. And they get very frustrated. See? And so